Welcome back, everyone. I just wanted to talk to you on the topic today of Dada and my favorite thing about working for them, and that is that we offer regular students at Dada. So I think that that's one of the neatest things about working for them. When I first started working for them, it was over 6 months ago now. This is my 7th month. And when I first started working for them, I was like, oh, well, I don't have any regular students. Within my first week, I had over half my slots filled with regular students, and then within my first month, I had all of my slots filled. So not only did it guarantee that I got paid, but it guaranteed that I wasn't wasting my time sitting in front of the computer waiting for somebody to book a class, and the possibility of me not getting paid for spending my time waiting for them. And that was a huge deal to me. You could get classes booked within the last few minutes sometimes, but this was a guarantee that I was going to have something to do during that time. Now, the other great advantage to that is you miss out on some things teaching online sometimes. If you're working for a company where you open up your time slots and you randomly get selected by a student based upon your rating, it kind of defeats the point of teaching online in a way to me, because a lot of reasons that teachers leave the classroom. I'm still in the classroom, but a lot of times what I hear as reasons for a teacher leaving the classroom is they feel that their pay is based upon their performance. That isn't the case in my state or my school, but I talk to a lot of teachers, and it's kind of sad to me. A lot of teachers feel like their pay is based upon their performance in the classroom, and that they have to perform a certain way in order to get this magnificent pay scale, and they feel like they can never achieve it because they're set up for failure. So in this situation, if you go and work for a company that opens up time slots and you can never get a booking, and then you happen to get booked with a student, and you and that student, and we all know that student, butt heads. I mean, how many times have you walked into a classroom and you're like, oh, I get along with all these students except that one student you butt heads with. Now, I love all my students, but there is sometimes that you just butt heads with them. When you work for other companies and you get that one student that you happen to butt heads with, and it's your first class, and they give you a bad rating, it doesn't mean that you're necessarily a bad teacher. It means that you didn't necessarily connect with that student. Now, our goal is always to connect with every student no matter what, but that's not always going to be the case. And let's say you're really sick and you happen to be online and you happen to be teaching and you're trying your hardest, but you just have a really bad day. Unfortunately, your performance is going to be rated by the people that are taking your classes. And if you're losing your voice, like I happen to be today, they're going to give you a rating. And the rating might be, oh, this is a horrible teacher. I'm never going to use this teacher again. Now, it might not be you. I mean, you might teach fabulous every other day of the week. You might teach fabulous every other day of the year, but they get to see you one time, and you have to make an impression on them. And unfortunately, we don't always make our best impressions. And I'd love to say that we always do, but that's not reality, and that's not reality as a teacher. That's not reality as a student. I'm sure I've gotten students before that I get offline with them, and I'm like, I had a trial class. I'm like, man, I hope I never teach that student again. I didn't connect with them. I don't feel like we had a good class. I feel like they were ignoring me. They were distracted. They were doing something else. They only had 15 minutes with me. They were so rude. But I don't know what happened in their day. They could have had a horrible day. They could have had a horrible week. They could be really, really sick. They could be really, really tired. They could be hungry because they haven't ate yet. You don't know their situation. They don't know yours. Fortunately, with DaDaABC, you have regular students. They know you. They know if you're having an off week. I remember I was losing my voice, and my student was like, oh, your voice. And she felt compassion. And she was like, oh, she knew I wasn't a bad teacher. She knew I had a sore throat, and that I kept coughing, and I kept on having to cover my mic. I felt so bad for her. But she knew me as a teacher. She knew I was a good teacher. I know that she was a good student. I had a student I was working with, and she burst into tears, and she never cried. She was always joyful and happy, and she just had a bad day, and it's okay. And once you get to know your students and have those relationships, then you know your rating isn't based on them, but on those companies that they may give you a bad rating, on your one bad day, on your first week maybe it's your first week and you're like just stressed out to the max and you mess up some things and you're just learning and they give you a bad rating and then nobody wants to pick you as a teacher. So your time slots don't fill up quickly. They fill up slowly. And then your success as a teacher with that company suffers. And I feel like that kind of sets you up for failure. It kind of sets you up to be not successful with a company, which is kind of unfortunate because there's a lot of good teachers out there that are going to get passed up because they had a bad day. So DaDa sets you up for success. You get regular students. You work with them every week. You get to know them. You get to assess them every week. You get to know exactly what they need, how they learn, how they best succeed. So I have the same 5 students every single week. And it's amazing. I never thought I could connect with a student online. I thought, okay, I'm teaching this kid like halfway around the world. I'll spend 2.5 hours, or not 2.5. I'll teach like 4 hours a week, minimum, do what I need to do. I'll teach more in the summer. It'll be great. I won't get connected to these kids. So it came up to my renewal this year, and I was like, man, I'm really burnt out, but I really, really, really don't want to lose my regular students. I just adore them. So instead of taking a break like I had planned on doing, I signed another contract because, gosh, why not? Why not go and be with the students that you care about? I look forward to seeing them every week. If I have to miss a week, I feel bad. I love my students. It was Teacher Appreciation Week here just a few weeks back, and it was amazing to see my students say Happy Teacher's Day, and I had a parent get on and tell me how I was part of their family now, and how it was just so great to see this and see how you become part of their family. They become part of your family, and you get to know them. So it's really a cool dynamic when you have a regular student. It's like having a student in your classroom and knowing when they're off and having a bad day, because I know when I'm teaching a kid or a student in my classroom, if they have a bad day, my approach completely changes. My approach changes from we got to get it done to how can we get this done? Let's give you some more options, more choices. Let's do things a little bit differently. It's about getting as much as you can out of them at the time. And if I push them to the brink and they shut down on me, they're not going to learn anything. So that's a great thing about having a regular student. You know what they need. So now that I'm on my soapbox there, anyways, that is the great advantage of working for DaDa. You get regular students, you get regular pay, you get these people in your life that you are going to spend time with, and you're going to get to know, and you're just going to adore them. Anyways, that's all. Thanks. Bye-bye.